Vault of Horrors 1973 British horror movie review. Okay, first off, it was pretty tight. I liked it. I guess they didn't even 4 of the comics were from Tales from the Crypt, based off of the 50s EC comics, horror comics. So 4 out of the 5 stories in the movie, it's like Tales from the Crypt style, or from Tales from the Crypt comics. Alright, so then it starts off and it's just like 5, and it's like an elevator in London, and you see Big Ben and shit, and it's like 5 strangers like get on the fucking elevator.
Oh, this part's retarded.
And they keep on going down, and they're just like saying British stuff like, "Oh, hello, John."
Guys, and they're like, "How did we get here?
Oh,
How did we get? Oh,
good day, sir. Top of the morning to you."
And then they see a table, like, oh, just one room, only one room.
And they're like, "Oh, I guess it's free liquor in the middle of the day."
I guess, well, we might as well enjoy it. So we all just sit down. So we don't know how we got here.
So then it's 5 hardcore British actors sit down, all make-upped up, all over 50. And they just started
out like, so, tell me your...
We all have fear. Hey, we all have fears, John.
Hey, we don't know how we got here, but hey, we all have fears. You go first. What's your fear?
It's not like we're not doing anything. It's only like high noon.
It's not like we're down on our freaking Sunday get-up.
So then the first one starts, and it's like... What's the first one?
The vampire one.
Oh, that one's badass. I think I liked 2 of them were really good. And then
yeah, the first vampire one was real good because it's set with the guy and he goes to this town.
That has an awesome feel throughout. A good story,
and
good acting.
Everyone's telling him not to be out at late at night. Get indoors, and he's wondering what's going on with all his town people.
It's freaking tight.
They shoot pretty tight. And then he goes to a bar. And they're like, no, we're not serving,
They're serving blood for the vampires because it's a secret vampire town.
That's when he comes the second time. The first time he comes, they tell him to get out of there, and they're not open.
That's enough about that story. We don't want to ruin the whole movie for everyone.
Ruin the whole movie for you guys.
Wow. Let's give
next story.
Let's give him a round of.
So then it cuts to the next guy, and he's like, "That's my fear."
Then it cuts to the next guy's story, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I married a woman who's younger than me." Guy got himself like a trophy wife, and she's not even that hot, but like that one's just terrible. It's just like
for a 70s actor.
It's just like shot like a hardcore 70s movie. Okay, they do like 5 different stories, but they still make it like feel like a hardcore 70s like movie where they like set the camera up in the corner and they're like, all right, action, roll it.
Like someone will be doing laundry and they'll film the whole thing.
I know, they'll film like every detail without editing it at all, and they'll just be like a bunch of filler. And then this story, there's like a bunch of filler, and he's just like, oh, keep the freaking spaghetti sauce. We need spaghetti sauce. We need this in the kitchen, and leave my magazines over here. Put my one-hitter away. Da-da-da. And she ends up killing him, of course, because it's Vault of Horror. That one was terrible. Then what's the next one? The Magician in India.
That one was pretty...
Couple of old magicians are looking for a new trick. Some new tricks, so they...
And it's actually
so they decided to go to Bangkok or something.
It's an actual
yeah, that's a good setting for a Vault of Horror
back in the day, and they always wondered how they did it. There's old footage of them where they play the music and the rope comes out of the basket, and then a young boy climbs the rope, and there's nothing attached to it. And so he learns that magic trick, or they kill a magician who has a special basket that does it.
The trick is so terrible. It's just like a hardcore 60s, 70s prop. And then
the thing that's terrible is how freaking she kills him, because it's expected, but it just leads up to it forever. It's so much of filler all the way until she kills him finally. And he's just so meticulous about all of his items, where they are, how they're placed. Where
you mentioned that? I'm talking about the India one, you freaking douchebag.
My bad, go on.
What are you talking about? Enough about the stupid neat job. And then there's the freaking one where he gets the trick, and then the next one is where the guy fakes his death and he's buried alive.
That was the best one.
It's called Bargain for Death. Oh yeah, that one was badass. I'm gonna watch that every Halloween for sure. It's just like set at like midnight, and it's already like.
The guy takes a drug to slow down his heart rate.
It's like the perfect story for a Vault of Horror movie.
And he pays his lawyer so he can get the money after he's dead, and then to dig him up after he's been buried.
Yeah, he takes the sedatives to slow down his heart rate so that the doctor pronounces him dead. He gets buried alive, and they end up. Then there's another side story, and
his lawyer ends up doing some sneaky stuff, and it's pretty.
He ends up double crossing him and leaving him in there, and of course he ends up a ghoul. Basically, you gotta see it. Vault of Horror 73. Then the last one, it's like Haiti, and it's like a freaking what is it? A painter.
Oh yeah, it's about this painter who
gets the voodoo curse of his artwork.
Where he can draw things and erase them.
And he made a portrait of himself, and he always has to protect it. And then he draws portraits of people that have crossed him. So he ends up
killing people by drawing them and ripping them up and stuff. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's alright. It's good.
And then it ends, it's just like, in case you haven't noticed yet.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they all go back to their grave.
So it ends, and it cuts to all the guys who told all their story. And then they're like, how do we even get here? And then and then they all walk out and fade out into the graveyard. Like,
and he's just like...
And then the last guy's like...
I am a paid actor.
And he's like, the last guy like explains the story for you. Like, wow, I guess this is hell, and we have to repeat our things that killed us each night, every night. And then he walks into the hallway and fades out, and it's like, wow, so gay.
So they were actual. So we learned it was actual stories of the horror and the sins that they did in real life.
Well, the way that they died.
Yeah.
And but then you're like, wow, the guy just told me that even though I already got it.
So to sum it up, there's a bunch of. So it's like hardcore 70s shot.
Hardcore 70s.
British, bunch of British humor.
Hardcore Brits.
Some dull moments. After you see the movie once, you'll skip through a few of the stories and just watch like the one where the guy fakes his death and the opening one with the vampires are my two favorites. Alright, that was the Vault of Horror 73 review.
Check out the Dark Knight review.
Check out our horror reviews. And I'm going to be doing some sports rant coming up, like Jose Batista on steroids and stuff.
Shout out to Nate Dunning. We're going to give a shout out to Myers Fan 25.
Shout out to Judgment Day, May 21st, which is supposed to be the rapture today, but of course it didn't happen.
What up, Darnell? How's it going?
Alright.
Peace out.